Okay, everyone, welcome back to today's committee meeting round of meetings, I guess, here on National Indigenous Day, summer solstice. Yeah, happy days to us all. This is a Community Services Committee meeting. Today in attendance, we have myself as chair, Councillors Bosch, Councillor Berg, and of course, the Mayor, Jackie Clayton herself. I'll call this meeting to order. We have no delegations, and first round up, we'll do our reports, and to that, I will hand it over to our director, Mr. Arlen Miller.
Thanks, Chair Thiessen, and good morning, committee. So I'll start off with Community Knowledge Campus at Eastlink Centre. So the Eastlink Centre Triathlon is set for July 10th, and registration for athletes plus volunteers is open right now, and we also have 35 free spots for what we're calling Kids of Steel. So those are available. There's more information on the website as well. And then the Aquarians regional swim meet was held this past weekend. It's the first time since COVID that they've had a meet. Overall, it went very well. We did encounter a couple issues with our score clock, but we're working hard to resolve that still, and we do have a plan in place. We've offered next time insisting next time that we will bring in a rental clock as a backup system, and we offered it this past time, but it was declined. But next time we'll make sure we have it in place to have a even more successful meet. And then events and entertainment. The Grande Prairie Friendship Center's Grand Gathering Gala took place at Bennett's in the Bows side on Saturday, June 18th. The event serves both a major fundraiser and also an opportunity to promote Indigenous culture to the wider community, featuring Indigenous Country Artist of the Year and CCMA Award winner Jason Benoit. So another successful event. With corporate facilities management, they have a couple projects on the go. They're working on MCC right now and some issues with the parkade, trying to resolve that. And they've also started the process for the Center for Creative Arts roof replacement. That was talked about a little while ago with council as well. With sports development, wellness, and culture, some news about Canada Day celebrations. So it'll start off with the parade starting at 1 o'clock and then switch over to Muskosipi Park. It'll have a variety of activities starting at 2:30, including bouncy castles, carnival rides, a variety of games, food trucks, live entertainment as well in the amphitheater. 2-day FM will be on site in the park, and also the outdoor pool will be open from noon to 9 p.m. and it'll be free drop-in swimming. There will be designated times so we can try to rotate as many people through the pool as possible. And then it'll wind up in the evening at 11:30 at the reservoir at Muskosipi Park with the fireworks display. And just a reminder, the next Neighborhood Association Forum is June 22nd, and the community is invited to attend the Community Orchard Tour in Highland Park. The address is 98 A Street and 91st A Avenue. It's from 6 to 7 p.m. and followed by a tour of some of the neighborhood projects that the association has completed in recent years. And then I'll wrap up with good news on transit. So the conventional ridership continues to increase. We realized a 10% increase compared from the first 2 weeks in May to the first 2 weeks in June. So it's encouraging to see people come back and ride the transit system. And that's my report, Mr. Chair, unless there's any questions.
Thank you very much, Director Miller. You said you end with good news, but it sounded like all good news to me. I got a couple of people in the queue here first. I got Councillor Bosch and Councillor Burke.
Thank you, Chair Thiessen. Thanks, Mr. Miller, for your report. I guess I just have one question about Canada Day. Can you speak to the Canada Day parade and route?
Thanks for through the chair. I don't have the details of the route handy, but I do have somebody sitting beside me who I'm pretty confident would have the details.
I don't know. She doesn't look super confident that the camera's not on her, so there's that smile.
Thank you, through the chair. I don't have the route readily available either, but we can circulate it to council.
Okay. I was told it was on was it 108th? Was that the route previously when we started construction in the core? They're going to use the same route, but is that what it was?
We have Miss Casually who's trying to find out the route, so we can probably share that during the same meeting as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, team over there. Director Miller, Ms. Bieberdorf, and Ms. Cazalet. I got Councillor Berg in the queue.
Thank you, Chair Thiessen. I just want to make one comment before I make a couple questions. You brought up the Grand Gathering, so congratulations to the Friendship Center on a very successful Grand Gathering. Not only did they raise funds, but they also raised awareness and engagement. So just a couple questions. You'd mentioned the orchard tour. I was actually just on a nice little walk through Copperwood yesterday, and I saw the orchard there. It was heavily overgrown with dandelions, yet other tree beds around it had some nice mulch. Is there a plan to maintain that, or what's the protocol on that?
Director Miller.
Thanks, Chair Thiessen. I'll have to check into that. I'm not certain on who maintains it.
Okay.
But I'll make sure I get the information and share it with
Yeah, I was actually quite excited to see it, but again, it wasn't attractive, and I was wondering if those dandelions maybe, choking off some of the trees where other beds around it had some beautiful mulch.
Okay. No,
And so then my other question, just seeing as how it's the first day of summer, can you update us, please, on how the outdoor pool and spray parks are going?
through the chair, thanks for the question. As far as I know, it's going very well. We have adequate staff for the outdoor pool. We're also trying to explore if we can do lessons yet this summer at the outdoor pool. We've looked at a couple different options, working with Ms. Redding on that and our newest employee, Mr. Slivka. So hopefully we'll have lessons this summer and with the splash parks. I don't have any specific news on that, but I'll dig into that and provide additional details as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, Director Miller. Thank you, Chair Thiessen.
Thank you, Councillor Berg. Just put in my 2 cents there. It might, around your dandelions in the orchards, that might be a parks question, which could actually go through Director Glavin, which would be why it might not be readily available right now from Director Miller. I wanted to make one quick comment. The last couple weekends, I was at the Bonnets Energy Center for the Pride Parade, or for the Pride Gathering, Party in White, as well as the Grand Gala, and both were super well attended, but our staff was super amazing as well. And it was a good reminder that we got such a great asset in the middle of our community. It's nice to see it being used. It's nice to see it full. And it was nice to step outside on both of those days and see a rainbow. So I think the universe is on our side there. So good job to the staff at Bonnets Energy Center, and I hope to see more events there. My kudos to them. Seeing no more questions or comments, I will move right along into other business. We have item 5.1, the 2024 Indigenous Summer Games, and this one is to be presented by Mayor Clayton.
Thanks so much, Chair Thiessen. Just more of a item for potential discussion with council, or with committee rather at this point. I had an opportunity to speak with a gentleman who's the executive director for the Alberta Indigenous Games. And if you recall, earlier in the term, we talked about some of the ways that we can work on municipal opportunities for the items listed in the 94 Truth and Reconciliation items, one of them being youth in recreation. So I had a call set up with the gentleman, the executive director for the Indigenous Summer Games, to talk about the opportunities for communities such as Grande Prairie to host the Alberta Indigenous Games. Turns out someone from our community, as our community always does, had already taken the initiative to have that conversation. So there was already a little bit of work and digging that administration had done previously on the games as well. So it was kind of interesting timing, because the gentleman on the call thought I was calling to say, yes, Grande Prairie wants to bid, but I was actually just calling to get more information. So it was quite interesting. But regardless, I just wanted to update council on what that would look like. The 2022 games are hosted in Rundle Park in Edmonton. The 2023 games are the bids are due by the end of June, which for obvious reasons wouldn't give administration or our community enough time to bid. However, I wanted to just give you a high sort of level introduction to what the games consist of, and then from there see if committee has any interest in going further with that. The games typically run in the end of August. They're from athletes up to age of 21. They are also looking to introduce an adult games, which would take place in July, but they haven't started that process. These games typically take about place in the third week of August and include about 15 sports. Over the almost 10 years that the Alberta Indigenous Games have taken place, they have seem to be, they're every 2 years. They double year after year on the participants. A few things about these games. It's not traditional in the sense of the Alberta Summer Games or Winter Games where there's an athlete village. These athletes, coaches, officials stay in hotels, so it's a great opportunity for sport tourism in your community. There is some expectation, and the bid package, after reviewing with Director Miller and Ms. Cajolet and myself, there was a little bit of misinformation in regards to our conversation and what was in the bid package. There is a little bit of expectation for coordination of transportation and helping them with sponsorship. In the past, the Edmonton municipality that is hosted gives gift in kind and facilities. However, the games itself are relatively low in cost. They don't have the provincial support right now that, say, the Alberta Summer or Winter Games would have. For example, the games in 2023, Minister Orr says on the website, are supported by the province in the tune of about $400,000. And the Alberta Indigenous Games at this point don't have that level of support from the province. So the games are somewhat self-sufficient. They're significantly less municipal involvement from what I see on early discussions, but it's something for discussion and consideration. They, depending on the packages that they receive by the end of June, they'll do tours of communities in July. The rumors are Lethbridge's bid, a couple other municipalities. If we were interested in bidding, they did tell me that if we were interested and we wanted to send a letter of intent, that they would hold off taking a multi-year proposal from a municipality if there was interest from us to going potentially bidding on 2024. There is also, as you're aware, we did bid on the Alberta Summer Games, or Winter Games rather, for 2024. So there are subsequent years. So I just wanted to provide the information and look to committee and potentially my council colleagues for discussion on interest, level of interest, and what that could look like going forward. So that's it, Mr. Chairman. I just want more of an update than anything.
Yeah, thank you for that, and thanks for having those conversations and consistently trying to bring more people into our community and bring people together in our community. So appreciate that. I have Councillor Boss in the queue.
Thank you, Chair Thiessen. Mayor Clayton, just a quick question. Perhaps you know, maybe not. I'm super in favor of sport tourism. And bringing in a cultural sport tourism up and above. The sponsorship that you talked about from other municipalities in regards to facilities, what do you know outside of that? Is there sponsorship requirements, like financial sponsorship that
Yeah, thanks for the question. In the approximately in the past, it's been a $100,000 gift in kind on facilities from the host municipality. Previously, they have not had additional cash sponsorship. The games itself, though, are, however, looking to grow and expand. So they are looking, and I would assume from my discussion that the bids that provide opportunity for a portion of the economic-driven revenue to the region, they're looking to share some of that. So the bid that were to say, the municipality will work on sponsorship and in turn pay them X. There was a discussion that the Lethbridge, I think it was Fastball Indigenous Games, Lethbridge as a municipality supported approximately $90,000 between gift in kind and cash. So it's basically, at this point, it's open. They will continue to advocate the province for support. But, relatively open in regards to if we put a package together, I would suggest that administration and myself could have further conversations of what level of support they would be looking for. But to this date, gift in kind of facilities has been the only municipal contribution.
Okay. And what about transit? Has any of the other municipalities offered, some buses and such?
Yeah. At this point, it hasn't, because it's been in Edmonton and St. Albert, and so the parents and coaches have been staying at hotels and driving to the sporting venues. They are looking to bring that games to the next step. So there is coordination of transportation. And it doesn't say gift in kind in the bid package. It's more coordination of transportation. So.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks for the question, Councillor Bosch. Thanks for the answers. Mayor Clayton, I got Councillor Burke.
Thank you, Chair Thiessen. Yeah, I'm fully in support of something like this, but we do have to explore that we do potentially have another significant event. One of the things as I learn about this, as I weigh it in my mind, one is summer, one is winter. I don't want to tax our volunteer base, but they are entirely different sports and different activities, and a potential to draw in the Indigenous community to help out as well. So I think we need to do some exploring and ask some questions, but it's something that I'm fully supportive.
Yeah, thanks for those comments, Councillor Berg. Yeah, I'll just chip in too. I'm super supportive of doing a bid for the Indigenous Games for 2024 too. I do have similar concerns about volunteer capability and where that is after Winter Games if we're successful in that bid. My question, I guess, that I have is when it comes to our Arctic Winter Games legacy funding, would we be able to apply some of that significantly to offset some of the bid costs or otherwise?
So I had the exact same question, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Bieberdorf for an explanation.
Thanks, Mayor Clayton. Ms. Bieberdorf.
Yes, thank you, Chair Thiessen. The current Arctic Winter Games Legacy Fund can be used to support bidding on sporting events, so it's certainly, if it was the direction from Council, we could access that fund.
Okay, great. And do you know offhand, I know this just came, I know, how much we have in that fund left over still, or?
I believe it's about 370,000-ish. Yep.
Beauty bars. Okay, cool. I'll look around for any other further questions. And if not, we can keep it as a discussion level, or I'll entertain a motion as well.
I'm happy to do the motion, but I'm also happy if somebody else wants to as I introduce the item.
Yeah, it's deserving that you would. So like
In the minutes, I'm in the minutes enough.
No. You're our leader, fair mayor.
All right, so I would move direct administration to have additional conversations with the Alberta Indigenous Games and bring back a report of potential obligations from the municipality for further discussion.
And I'll just wait for that to be recorded. Good motion. I think it was good. It sounded good. I'm sure it'll come out great in the writing. All right, looks like we are calling to question. Oh, wait, no, just 1 minute. And there we go. We'll call to question.
Sorry, if I can just, can we say opportunities and obligations from the municipality? Thank you.
And that motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much for bringing that to the table here, Mayor Clayton, and look forward to that report. Finally, for today, we have bylaw and policy review and update on our large-scale tourism events policy, number 317. And to that, we'll turn it over to Ms. Bieberdorf again.
Thank you, Chair Thiessen. Before I start, I'll just give the quick update on the Canada Day route. So it starts at Hillside School, goes north to 108th Ave, and then west to Willie DeWitt Drive, where it will finish at the Leisure Centre parking lot. Perfect. So at the March 1st meeting, committee directed administration to amend the large-scale tourism policy, and discussion included language regarding supporting community groups who are looking to create fundraising opportunities through their large-scale tourism events. We went back to the Community Advisory Committee to provide input on policy changes, and various amendments were made to the policy, including some minor housekeeping edits, as well as the ability to generate fundraising revenue. Additional edits to the procedure were made to align with policy updates, and administration is requesting that committee recommend council approve amendments to the large-scale tourism events policy 317 as presented.
Thank you for that, Ms. Bieberdorf. I'll look to committee or council for any questions or comments on the changes. Mayor Clayton.
Thanks, Chair Thiessen. Appreciate administration bringing this back, as we discovered earlier in the year in conversations with an event such as Grand Con, that is in participation with the Odyssey House. Our policy wasn't necessarily aligned for community groups. So I think that this is a great amendment, and I encourage committee to support this.
Thank you for that, Mayor Clayton. I also have Councillor Burke in the queue.
Thank you, Chair Thiessen. So my question Is at the end of these events, do we get a report or a presentation on attendance success? Is there something measurable that we get at the end of it?
Yeah, Ms. Bieberdorf, I think you can answer this one.
Thank you. Yes, we do have grant funding agreements for large-scale tourism, and they are required to provide us financial statements and other measures of economic impact.
Great, thank you.
Oh, I believe I have a motion to be propped up by Councillor Bosch.
Good work, administration. Thank you, Chair Thiessen. I move committee recommend council approve amendments to policy 317, funding for large-scale tourism events.
All right, that motion is in order and it is on the table. So you may vote. I'm going to talk through the vote here just because I'm planting seeds. I know that we've come out of a long 2-year drag of not doing a lot of things. Just a heads up that going in the future, especially around budget time, my hope is that over time we've shrunk the large scale tourism fund. I think it started out at $250,000. I can't make a motion here, but I would be looking and be hopeful that when we get to our budget that we can increase that, because I think that does a lot in generating community spirit, community pride, and bringing people together, probably to the original amounts, and it may require some amendments. Mayor Clayton.
Thanks, Chair Thiessen. I think at this point it hasn't been fully executed at each consecutive year. Obviously, we lost a few years to a pandemic. However, happy for you to ask one of your colleagues to make a motion. However, in my opinion, it could be easily changed, amended at budget as well.
Yeah, and I wasn't looking for a motion today. I was definitely going to bring it up, just planting seeds here today and making administration aware of what I might have up these short sleeves. Cool. Thank you, everyone. Voting is closed. It passes unanimously. Thank you so much for that. Moving along, we have our outstanding items list. So the camera will turn back to Director Miller. You're on the spot again.
Right. Thanks, Chair Thiessen. If I can just give you an update on the splash parks before. So according to Mr. Phillips, mechanically, they're all functioning very well this season. And just with the cool weather, attendance hasn't been great. But hopefully when the weather warms up, we'll see more kids, our youth, enjoying the splash parks.
And adults.
And adults, yes, of course. With the oil, just a couple updates. Ms. Bieberdorf did a very good job today with 1187, so we can remove that one with your permission. And then an update on 1169 as well, the Grande Prairie Public Library needs assessment. I just need to extend that date. We're still awaiting the report from the consultant on the efficiency review at the library, but anticipating to have that probably presented to the library board early September, so hopefully we could have the report back by September 27th. If we can amend the date to that date, please.
All right, thank you very much for that, Director Miller. I have Mayor Clayton.
Thanks, Chair Thiessen. Just a question I could have asked earlier, Director Miller, so I apologize if you mentioned it in your update, but when is the schedule? If it's already gone live, that's great, but is the schedule out there for the mobile skate park? And if not, when will it go public?
Director Miller.
So I have Ms. Bieberdorf who can help me out with that one as well.
Thank you. Yes, we did put a media release and social media out about the Hillside location, and we're still working on our secondary location with our Scores partners. So we should have our next location out in the coming weeks.
Okay, and sorry if I may, Chair Thiessen, is there intent to have a full summer schedule at some point?
Ms. Bieberdorf.
Thank you. We would like to get there. We're just working out our locations with the rinks because some are in better conditions than others. So we're just making sure that we have some safe locations to move.
Your intent is not to have them in the parking lot, to have them in the existing skating rink areas?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you for that question and answer. I have Councillor Burke.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Thiessen. I would like to move committee receive the June 21st, 2022 outstanding items list as amended for information. The
motion is in order. We'll call it to question. And that motion passes and thus concludes our Community Services Committee meeting today. We'll see you back here in 5 minutes and enjoy National Indigenous Day.